My name is Elena Carter, and for most of my adult life, I believed I understood what stability meant. At 42, I had everything that looked right from the outside. I was a senior lecturer in business strategy at a respected university in Seattle. My career was stable, my income comfortable, and my life, on paper, perfectly structured. And then there was my husband, Daniel Carter. We had been together for 18 years. Married for 16. The kind of couple people described as solid. The kind that made younger couples believe love could actually last. We had a rhythm. A system. Morning coffee together. Occasional dinners out. Annual vacations planned months in advance. Predictable. Reliable. Safe. But somewhere along the way, safe had turned into silent. The cracks I refused to see. It didn't happen overnight. Distance never does. It begins subtly, so quietly that you mistake it for stress, for routine, for life simply settling into its natural pace. Daniel started coming home later than usual. At first, it was client meetings. Then unexpected deadlines. Then just vague explanations that I stopped questioning. I told myself this was normal. After all, we were no longer in our 20s, laughing over cheap takeout and dreaming about the future. We had arrived. Life wasn't supposed to feel exciting anymore, it was supposed to feel stable. That's what I believed. That's what I chose to believe. Even when he stopped reaching for my hand. Even when conversations became logistics instead of connection. Even when I caught unfamiliar scents on his shirts, subtle, floral, not mine. I ignored it all. Because acknowledging it meant risking everything. The night that changed everything. It was a Thursday evening when my life split into before and after. Daniel was in the shower. The bathroom door was slightly ajar, and steam drifted into the bedroom, carrying the faint scent of his cologne. The sound of water hitting tile created a steady, almost hypnotic rhythm. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, scrolling absent-mindedly through emails, when I heard it. A soft ping. His phone lit up on the nightstand. I didn't look at it immediately. I wasn't that kind of wife. I never had been. Trust, to me, wasn't just a word, it was a principle. Something you protected, even when it felt inconvenient. But then, it happened. That feeling. A quiet tightening in my chest. An instinct I had spent months, maybe years, pushing aside. It whispered, look. I tried to ignore it. I really did. But something inside me had already stood up. Already taken a step forward before my mind could catch up. My hand moved. The screen was still glowing. And there it was. The message. Reservation confirmed. Table for 2 at Aurelia. Friday 7:30 p.m. Window seating. She'll love it. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was reading. My brain refused to process it. Aurelia. The name alone felt like a sharp object lodged in my memory. It was the restaurant. Our restaurant. Or at least, it was supposed to be. Years ago, Daniel and I had planned to celebrate our 10th anniversary there. We had looked at pictures online, soft lighting, elegant decor, panoramic city views. I remembered how excited I had been. How I had bought a dress just for that night. And then, he cancelled. Work trip. Next year, he promised. Next year never came. And now, he was taking someone else there. The moment I crossed the line, I should have put the phone down. I should have walked away. I should have chosen ignorance. But I didn't. Because deep down, I already knew. My fingers hovered over the screen for only a second before entering the passcode. 4 digits. Our wedding date. It unlocked instantly. That hurt more than anything. Because even after everything, he hadn't changed it. Like our marriage was still intact. Like it still meant something. The truth unfolds. What I found inside wasn't a single mistake. It wasn't a moment of weakness. It was a life. A second life. Her name was Lila Morgan. Younger. Confident. Effortlessly radiant in a way I no longer felt. She worked in communications at Daniel's firm. Their messages stretched back nearly a year. At first, they were harmless. Work-related. Polite. Then gradually. Personal. Playful. Intimate. Good morning, you. You looked beautiful today. I wish I didn't have to leave your side. I scrolled further. Photos. Videos. Selfies taken in hotel rooms. And then. The one that shattered me completely. Daniel. My husband. Standing on a balcony somewhere I didn't recognize, his arm wrapped around her waist. Smiling. Not the polite smile he gave me in recent years. A real one. Bright. Unfiltered. Alive. I stared at it for so long that my vision blurred. Not from tears. From disbelief. The sound of his voice. Hey, have you seen my navy tie? His voice echoed from the bathroom. Casual. Unbothered. Normal. Like he hadn't just destroyed everything. My entire body went still. For a second, I thought I might drop the phone. But I didn't. I carefully placed it back on the nightstand exactly as it had been. Every angle. Every position. Perfect. Second drawer, I replied. My voice didn't shake. I don't know how. The longest night of my life. That night, I lay beside him in silence. Daniel fell asleep quickly. He always did. His breathing even. Peaceful. I stared at the ceiling, my back turned toward him, my body rigid. I didn't cry. Not yet. Because the pain hadn't fully reached me. It was still forming. Still gathering. Like a storm waiting to break. The morning after. The next morning, I moved like nothing had changed. I made coffee. Prepared breakfast. Smiled when necessary. When he kissed my cheek before leaving, I didn't pull away. Good luck with your meeting, I said. He nodded, grabbing his briefcase. Thanks. And then he walked out the door. Just like any other day. The moment I became someone else. The second the door closed behind him. Everything shifted. I didn't collapse. I didn't scream. I didn't call anyone. Instead, I picked up my phone and dialed the university. I need to request leave, I said calmly. 3 days. Of course, the HR representative replied. Is everything okay? I paused. Then answered with a clarity that surprised even me. Yes. Everything was finally clear. I sat at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee that slowly went cold in my hands. For years, I had been the understanding wife. The patient one. The one who adjusted, who forgave, who ignored. But that version of me was gone. In her place, something new was forming. Something sharper. Calmer. More dangerous. I didn't want a fight. I didn't want tears. I didn't want apologies. If Daniel wanted a perfect evening with her, he would have it. But it wouldn't end the way he imagined. And for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid of what came next. Elena didn't cry that day. She planned. Within hours, she had gone through Daniel's calendar, emails, and messages. Everything was laid out with almost insulting neatness, like he believed his life was too organized to ever be questioned. Friday. 7:30 p.m. Aurelia. Window seat. Wine pre-ordered. A perfect lie. She found Lila easily. Social media gave her everything: photos, captions, locations. And then, the final piece. Lila wasn't alone. She had a husband. Adrian Blake. Successful architect. Polished. Trusting. Unaware. Elena stared at his profile for a long time before making her decision. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, then began typing. Not a threat. Not an accusation. An invitation. Professional. Polite. Convincing. A guest lecture discussion over dinner. At Aurelia. Friday. 7:30 p.m. He accepted. That was when Elena knew. This wasn't revenge. This was truth, delivered properly. Friday night arrived quietly. Elena dressed with intention, not to impress, but to reclaim herself. A deep emerald dress, simple makeup, confidence she hadn't felt in years. Aurelia glowed with soft golden light. Music floated through the air like nothing bad had ever happened there. Adrian arrived first. Kind smile. Steady voice. He thanked her for the invitation, completely unaware his life was about to split in two. They spoke briefly, safe topics, surface-level conversation, but Elena's attention kept drifting toward the entrance. Then, Daniel walked in. With her. Lila. Laughing. Effortless. Intimate. Comfortable. Like Elena had never existed. For a second, Elena's chest tightened. But she didn't break. She waited. Watched. Let them settle into their perfect illusion. Then she stood. "Excuse me," she told Adrian softly. He nodded. She walked toward them, not fast, not slow, just steady. Daniel looked up first. And froze. The color drained from his face so quickly it was almost unreal. Lila followed his gaze. Her smile disappeared instantly. Elena stopped at their table. No shouting. No scene. Just truth. She turned slightly and said, clearly enough for both of them, "Adrian, could you come here for a moment?" Confusion crossed his face, but he stood and walked over. Elena met his eyes. Calm. Unshaking. "This is my husband, Daniel," she said. A pause. "And this is your wife." Silence fell like something heavy and irreversible. Lila's hand slipped from Daniel's. Adrian didn't move. Didn't speak. He just looked at her. Really looked. As if seeing her for the first time. Daniel tried to say something. "Elena, She raised a hand. "No. Just one word." But it ended everything. "I've already heard enough," she said quietly. "For a year, actually." Lila started crying. Daniel stepped forward. "Elena, please." But Elena stepped back. Not angry. Not broken. Just done. "I hope it was worth it," she said. Then she turned and walked away. That night, Elena checked into a hotel across the street. She held herself together until the door closed. Then, she broke. Not delicately. Not quietly. 17 years of love, trust, patience, everything collapsed at once. She cried for the woman she had been. For the years she had given. For the signs she had ignored. But when it was over, something else remained. Clarity. Adrian knocked on her door later that night. Not for comfort. Not for answers. Just because he didn't know where else to go. They sat in silence at first. Two strangers connected by the same betrayal. "Thank you," he said eventually. Elena looked at him. "For what?" "For telling me the truth." She nodded. Some lies don't deserve time. The divorce wasn't dramatic. Daniel tried. Calls. Messages. Apologies. Promises. He said it was a mistake. Elena didn't argue. "Cheating isn't a mistake," she told him once. "It's a series of choices." That was the last real conversation they had. She filed for divorce. And didn't look back. Adrian stayed in her life. At first, just occasional messages. Then coffee. Then long conversations. No pressure. No expectations. Just honesty. Something neither of them had experienced in a long time. Months passed. Life softened. Elena returned to teaching. Started living again, not as someone's wife, but as herself. One evening, walking beside the river, Adrian stopped. "I don't want to rush anything," he said. "But if you ever want something real again, I'd like to try." Elena looked at him for a long moment. Then smiled softly. "Not the way it was before," she said. "No lies. No pretending. Just truth." He nodded. "That's all I want." Elena saw Daniel again at a university event. He looked smaller somehow. Not physically, but in presence. Life had stripped away his confidence. "I'm sorry," he said. This time, it sounded real. Elena studied him for a moment. Then nodded. "I know." And that was enough. No anger. No pain. Just closure. Elena stood outside that night, city lights glowing around her. Adrian walked up beside her, slipping his hand gently into hers. No grand promises. No dramatic words. Just something steady. Real. And for the first time in years, Elena felt free. She didn't lose her marriage. She found herself.